I made over 3.5 million selling digital products, and in this video I'm going to show you how and what you need to do if you want to do the same. So before anything starts, no, I'm not here to sell you an online courses or coaching or whatever. The mission with this podcast is to talk about like the story of people that just reach over a million in revenue. And we were talking with Neha and I'm like, we should talk about me. Like I did it, and I did on a small market, which is the French market, and I'm like, I think it could be interesting. So I'm gonna explain you everything, and at the end of this video, you will know exactly what I did to achieve over 2.5 million on a small market. Here we go. So first of all, I achieved that, as you read in the title, by selling digital product, and I'm gonna explain you why I decide to sell that when I firstly start with e-commerce, so physical product. Um, I want you to know also that I reached that number on a small market that is the French market. So of course it's still a big market. I would assume it's more like 100 million people, so it's still big. But if you compare it to the US and the English speaking person, we more like 1/10 of that. And so I really want you to understand that no matter what is your market, you can make money. You don't need a lot of people to make money, and you don't need to be famous to make a lot of money. I know you can see like the YouTube plate here, but I'm not famous. I swear, I swear. So, um, if you don't know me, my name is Thomas Joe. So as you can hear, and you might know if you are a real follower of this channel, I'm French, and I moved to the US 5 years ago, specifically in Florida, and that was my dream to live in the US, and that was more my dream to live in a place where it was sunny. And so that's why I decided to live here, and I could achieve that by selling digital product. And as I told you at the beginning, initially I was selling physical product. I always loved the concept and the idea of e-commerce. And I remember back in university in France, I made like a group project, and I was telling to my economic teacher that e-commerce will explode in the future and will be the future. And I remember it was early 2010, so Amazon was not what it is now, at least in France. And my teacher looked at me in the eyes and she told me, no, e-commerce will never be a thing. Guess she was wrong. So I was always fascinated by that. And I remember early 2012, I wanted to launch my first t-shirt lines. So back in the day, no Shopify, no like AliExpress or whatever. So I was digging on like internet to find supplier and all the stuff. And at some point, I didn't have the experience, nor the maturity, nor the knowledge to build that. So I just set on the side and I just move on with my life. But this idea of launching an e-commerce brand always got into me. And later on, like I would say a few years later, I discovered Amazon FBA, where you can send all your stock to Amazon and then Amazon will take care of everything for you. But of course, they will take a cut of that. And I was like, that seems nice. And so that's the first thing I launched. The first business I launched was late 2016, and it was simply to sell cable, so USB-C cable. Back in the day, it was not trendy at all, but I was into tech. I always love tech. So I was like, I know this is the future. I know this is the normal evolution. So I know the demand will always increase. All right. And then what I did, it's like I also sold a smartphone holder that you can put in your vent grill in your car. Um, that was my main two stuff. Long story short, I was break even because the product was not that good, the margin profit was not that high, and so it was tough for me, but it was a good lesson. So I didn't lose money, I didn't make money, but it was a good lesson. So I was so happy to do that. And what made me change and go all in on Shopify is that I met at business event, I met a friend that told me one sentence that changed my whole life. He's like, yeah, Tom, you're right. Amazon is good, but you don't own the email of your customer. And I don't know what happened that time. In my brain, it was like, that's so true. So I know now you have a lot of strategies to to try to get a little bit of the email because you can put like a QR code or whatever. But back in the day, that was not the case. So that was true. That was true that it was the main problem that you were selling on Amazon and your customer were not your customer, they were Amazon customer. Um, so that really shocked me. And so then I move on and I did so Shopify. So the classic system that happened back in the day was AliExpress, Shopify, selling to a client. And I did that on the US market, which is pretty funny. I started doing that on the US market. And then I discovered something that I didn't know called print on demand. So basically, I put a design on a t shirt, on a pillow, on curtains, on like shoes, socks, you name it, right? Um, and I start aiming a very narrow niche. I mean, narrow. It's a niche, but it's not that narrow in the US, was the wildlife hunting niche. And I start making like, I remember my first like 500, 600 gross revenue a day. So it's a gross revenue, right? After paying all the influencer and everything, I think it remains for me like 50 to 100 bucks. But still, it was amazing. It was like it was good to be like, wow, I made that much money. So that was very cool. Um, and so then I read a book. I don't remember this book. I'm sorry for that. But I read a book that was saying, if you want to grow faster and learn faster, you need to teach people. And so my brain was like, how can I teach something that I'm not an expert of? And the next sentence was like, even if you feel you're not an expert, you have to teach because you will get the knowledge faster. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm dumb. So let's do that. And so I start teaching on the YouTube channel, on my French YouTube channel. So the one that has the 100,000 because I did that for 9 years. No, 8 years, sorry. So now that makes sense. But I remember I was so shy. I was just showing like a PowerPoint presentation and talking on top of that. It was way before Canva, way before anything else. And so what happened is that I just start teaching what I learned about dropshipping, about e-commerce, about everything. And one time I did a video that basically changed my whole life. This video was talking about the opportunity of print on demand and how I got result with print on demand that was amazing, that were amazing. Sorry, um, and I didn't expect that because I never did that kind of content to sell online product, digital product, but that's what happened. And so a lot of people starting to ask me, hey, what is print on demand? Like, do you have a course? Can you help me to know more about that? And I was like, I think people are interested into that, but I'm not really. I don't feel uh, legitimate. I feel like I'm an imposter for that, so I'm not going to do that. But 3 4 months later, I start my first online courses, and no, that was not print on demand. That was on e-commerce, on global e-commerce. So basically, my point of view was like every courses were 2 grand, and I wanted to teach people that want to start that they don't have 2 grand to spend, that they can start with cheaper. And so my first product was like 150, no 350, 100, sorry, $350, and that was like my first sales. So I had like back in the day like maybe 700 people on my YouTube channel, no more. I had maybe like 200 people on my mailing list. That's it. And so I simply sent an email direct to a sales page, and I remember I did my first 3,500 in 10 days. That was the first time ever, and I was like, wow. Back in the day, my salary was like the minimum wage in France, so it was like 1,200 a month, something like that. So I was like, wow, I did like almost 3 times, like 3 months of my salary in like 10 days. I was like, that's crazy. And so then I used that money to travel the world. It was a hard time for me personally because I was with a girl for 6 years and she just dumped me like this. And so I was like, you know what? I need to go all in on this business. And so the first thing I did was to travel the world. So I went to LA, to Hawaii, to Canada. I went to San Diego, all that part of the world. That was amazing to me, and I really found myself. And that's why I was like, I can do it. I can make that for a living. So let's go. And so I just move on. I was producing a lot of videos, and what happened is that in June of this very next year, so it was like 6 months after launching my first product, I launched finally the print on demand course. So back in that time, I was probably about 2,000 followers, not a lot. Maybe 1,000 people on my mailing list, not much. And I just released the best product I ever released. Why it was the best? Because it's the product that told me this will be my job, this will be my business. That's it. Because the quality was good, but it's not as good as I can produce now, of course, because I'm more experienced, right? And so I released this the day of my birthday. So I was stressed, but I was like, hey, you know what? If it goes wrong, at least it's my birthday, so I'm gonna have a good day. I released, and I make like 4,000. Yeah, I think I made something like 4,000 for lunch in one day. And I was like, what is going on? That's insane. That's not normal. That shouldn't be real. So I was like, I had the time, I had a hard time to understand what was going on, but I was so proud. I was so happy, and I remember I celebrated that with my friend, and it was like a small victory. And I always say to people that the most important is not like the number. The most important is just one sale to show that you can do it. And at the end of the month, I end up the month with making 6 grand. So I don't know if you realize, but I was still back in the day at the low wage income, and I was like, wow, that's insane. And life is perfect sometimes because at the same time, this company fired me because the company was going bankrupt, so they didn't have enough money to pay the team, so they just like stopped the business. And so I was like, okay, so I make I made that much and I'm fired. So I don't have the choice to focus fully on that. And that's what I did. And since that, I never had a job anymore. And my job is my business now. So I was so happy. And so after that, I was just building on top of that. So I was like, okay, what made me succeed? A, I had traffic. Not a lot, but the traffic was very targeted. Okay. And B, I had a product that people wanted to buy. And so I just started doing that. And on every month, I was launching small products. And that's what I'm going to teach you in this video is how you can like sell small products that are very easy to make and that are very good because they answer one tiny hyper specific problem, sorry, that makes your product super sexy. And that's what I did. And up to that date, I launched for myself 150 different products. Okay, and for my all of my clients, I launched over 500 products. So I know what I'm doing when I'm telling you I'm the right guy to teach you how to sell online products. I know we all have different way of doing it. Now you can do webinar challenges, VSL, whatever. I'm telling you, no matter what you do, it's working. Okay. I know a lot of people that use different strategies and everything is working as long as you're good and as long as you provide value to your prospect, your leads, and then your customer. All right. So first of all, if I want to help someone to launch his first online product, what would I do? So first, you have to understand that the biggest mistake that I see is that people want to put everything and all the knowledge in one product. I really not encourage to do for you to do that because you really need to do one hyper one hyper specific problem solved in that product, not 10 problem, just one, and one hyper specific problem. The more you're going to be specific, the easier it will be for you to sell. I'm going to show you an example of what I'm doing with one of my clients right now on the US market. We don't help women to lose weight, and I'm going to explain why. We help mom to lose their mom pouch just after they get a kid. All right, so it's very tiny specific, and that help us to have a clear message and to have a clear sales because the customer that sees our sales page, they know what we are talking about, they know what we are selling, and for that, that allow us to have an increase of our conversion rate and that have like easy sales. Okay. And for example, if you say, oh, I want to help people lose weight, everybody do that. It's not smart. You need to be more specific. I help retired people to stay in shape. You see, it's still like losing weight, but you precise who you're targeting and you can have like your own like vehicle, your own method For example, you can say, hey, I help I help retired people stay in shape without going to the gym. And you know, of course, if you're watching this channel, you know Alex Hormozy, and Alex Hormozy was famous with one sentence. It was helping people staying in shape, be fit, and all the stuff. And he had this one sentence that was his signature was simply never skip dessert. And that made him famous because when you think about losing weight, you think about eating salad every day and not having fun. And that's why when you have an offer that is sexy, you can crush it. Okay, so first thing first, please solve a hyper specific problem. The more you will be doing that, the easier it will be for you and the more money you will make. Okay, now number two, as I said, hyper specific problem means that you need to have a quick win for your customer. I see too many people be like, oh, I'm gonna do like a 5 or 10 hours course. That's cool, but we don't need that. We're not in school or we're not at work where the more you do, the better it is. We don't care. We just want to solve the problem of our clients. I'm going to tell you something, and I know a lot of people won't believe me, but I have a business with one of my friends where we basically sell PDF, 2 page PDF, all right, and we sell that 3 grand. Why? Because we help French people to move to the US, and in those 2 pages PDF, we give all of our contacts, lawyer, accountant, um, insurance, all the stuff, and those stuff cost a lot. So I really want you to understand that is it's not the length, it's not the the, the, the the amount of time you put in it, it's how fast do you solve the problem of your client. Okay, if you can do that the fastest, they will pay you the better. That's also why, going back on the weight loss, that's why Ozempic, like the injection, is working so good, because nobody wants to lose weight, nobody wants to do a diet, nobody wants to do that. But the injection, which is very bad for your health, by the way, it's so fast. Boom, up, you lose weight. That's it. That's so fast. So, and people are willing to pay like thousands of dollars for that. So that's why I really want you to understand that you need to solve it super fast. It's more important for your client to have a quick win, even if it's a small win, than a huge win and the whole solution. Let me explain. If you help people to lose weight, once again, don't do that. But if you help like mother to lose their mom pouch, the small win, the first small win and quick win that you can give is find just 5-10 minutes for yourself during your day. That's not the solution to our problem, right? But that will be the first quick win to put your clients in a perspective that, hey, I can do that. That's possible for me. And so that will be amazing if you can allow your client to get quick win. Okay? So that's number two, quick win. And very, very fast. Number three is to simply, and that's what I do, sell low ticket offers. So I'll also have mid ticket and high ticket. And if you don't know what I mean by that, it's in simple. Low ticket products are below $100. So it's between 0 to 100 to 99 to be precise. And the mid ticket are between 100 to 1000, and the high ticket are between 1000 to, there is no ceiling. Now, that's in most of the niches, but if you are in a niche, for example, like sewing, yeah, that could be a little bit lower the prices, because nobody will pay like 5 grand to learn how to sew unless they want to do it professionally. All right. So, but that will be another niche. So you have to understand that. And so why I want you to sell low ticket products, so below $100, because first, a lot of people are like, but are you making real money with that? Because below $100 is nothing. Yes, if you just sell one product, of course you won't make any money. But if you put like order bump, it's like the small box, you just have to tick it to add to the cart. Or if you add upsells where you just have to click yes, I want it, and it's adding to your cart. Of course, if you do that, you will make a lot of money. I have a lot of my product that I sell for 37, $47, and if my clients take everything, he ends up with like 400. So you see, you can go very high. But what I love with low ticket product is that it can sell automatically and is delivered automatically. So that's why I prefer that. As I said, I also sell high ticket products, but it's because it's part of my strategy and I love to do that. I love to connect with my client. But if you start, don't do that. Really, like just focus on the low ticket and that's it. And what I love is I live in the US, as I told you, and my clients, most of them are in France. And so it's so cool because I just wake up every day and I make sales because while I'm sleeping, my business is running 24/7. So I make sales while I'm sleeping. And I love this sentence and I'm going to say it because you need to write it down. It's from the best Warren Buffett that says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, then you will work for the rest of your life. That is so true, and I love that. And so that's why I really love the fact that with low ticket product, you have a product that is automatically purchased and automatically delivered. You don't have anything to do. You just have to provide support for your customers in case there is something bad going on. So that helps you to focus more on what is important is the traffic. So once you have your product, you have to focus on your traffic. Now, which social media is the best for traffic? Right now, at the time of this video, we are mid 2025, and I would say the easiest and the fastest to get a lot of traffic would be Instagram. Instagram has a lot of features that help us to grow very fast. So I would say that um, I didn't grow like that. As I told you, I grew with YouTube channel, but it was back in 2017. So if I had to start over, I will definitely start with Instagram. And Instagram, not TikTok, because TikTok, yeah, you can do a lot of views, you can have a lot of subscriber, but the intent of purchase on this platform is very lower than Instagram. Instagram, people love to consume and they want and they love to buy. So that's why I love Instagram, and I will suggest you to do that. Now, if you have money and you want to do ads, ads will be your best ally, because if you take like organic traffic, the problem is that it's kind of the lottery. Even if you spend your whole day doing an amazing reels, an amazing post, you don't know if it's going to go viral or not. So maybe sometimes you're gonna work and you won't have a good result, and sometimes you won't work and it will be your best reels in terms of view. So that's why I'm like, it's cool to start, but very fast, as soon as I make money, I love to put some ads because the ads I can control. If I want to spend 1 grand this month, I can. If I want to spend 10, 20, 100,000 this month, I can. And that's why it's pretty good. And I will suggest you to do that, especially if you build something on the organic side of Instagram. You can add like the retargeting part, but that will be for another video, I think. So you have to understand that when you put that in perspective, that's very easy to have a business that is very passive. That's why I love that it's very passive. That allows me and Neha to travel the whole world. We just came back from 1 month in Europe. Before that, we were 10 days in Mexico City, and every month we travel because we love that. Once again, I don't force anyone to do the same. It's just how we love life, how we love to spend our money. But the most important is to to enjoy what you do. If it's spend more time with your family, if it's like to go to golf or wherever, whatever, wherever, whatever you want to do, you do it. And that's why I love that. It's you create a business that is at your service and you're not at the service of your business, which a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs are. You know, they work for their business, and the problem for that is that they just create themselves a job, which is a high paid job for sure, but it's still a job. So that's why I love that to create a digital product. And also, let's talk about numbers. The margin are insane. If you don't do ads and it's just organic traffic, basically your margin are 90%, 95%, because you will have the software cost and all the stuff, but that's it. So you can grow way much faster. And if you do ads, you are aiming towards like 40 to 50%. But if you tell me, hey Tom, I'm doing 60 to 70% with ads, I'm just going to answer scale more. You have to spend way more on that, you know? So that's so cool because when you work like that, when you think about everything that makes all your business easier. A good product that solves a hyper specific problem. B, you find a traffic source. And C, you just build the system that works for you. And when you have that, you just need to do more of that. Better offer, better traffic, and better system. That's it. So that's what I do. And now I'm gonna go a little bit deeper and I'm gonna explain all my strategy. All right. So first, I build an Instagram account on a niche that I am passionate or I have skills to talk about. All right. For example, I have a cooking diploma back in France. So basically, I can teach people how to cook. So let's use that for that example, and you will understand where I'm going with that. So I'm gonna start by creating an Instagram account, and I'm going to start to post some reels about me cooking, some recipe, everything related to me cooking. All right, and I'm gonna take an angle. For example, I can take the angle to eat clean, like eat good food, home food, but specifically without pesticides, without chemicals. And I'm gonna teach and educate people about that. And so, of course, I'm gonna have a lot of people coming at me to get more info, to ask me questions, and to follow me. And so, for that, I could create a a lead magnet. What is it? It's like a gift that I can offer in exchange of the email. That could be the beginning because it's very easy to do, and in the meantime, that allows me to gain time to work on my product. And then I will work on my product. And how do I know the product that I need to sell to my audience? It's very easy. You just check all the videos that works the best. You just check all the comments that you receive, and you just think, what do they want? And also, if you start having a small audience, just ask them. Like, you put a story, you're like, hey, I want to release a course. What is your biggest problem on the eating clean niche? What is your biggest problem? And you're gonna have a lot of answers. Also, right now you can use ChatGPT, but I prefer using my community first because that will give me more accurate, precise, and honest answer. And once you do that, then you will start having your subject, your topic, and the problem you need to solve. Once again, you need to solve a hyper specific problem, okay? And then what you can do is that you're gonna start building your offer, and in the meantime, remember you have your lead magnet that is collecting emails, so you won't start from zero when you're gonna shoot an email for the first time to do your launch. All right, if you can have like 30, 40, 100 emails to start, that will be amazing. And then once you have your product, you do a big launch. So you talk about it in your reels, in your post, of course, in your stories, and by email. You're going to send an email, and that will help you to have your first sales. Okay. Of course, you're going to replace the lead magnet in your bio, your link to bio. You're going to put the product that you just create for anyone to visit your profile to be able to buy directly your product. And please don't do like long pages or whatever. Just put directly to the order form. You want them to be able to buy as soon as quick as possible. Okay. And then what you're gonna do is that with the money you made, no, it's not for you. You didn't make the money. Your business made the money. So don't do this mistake that I did to take the money for me, because you need to grow now. So what I will do is like I will take a little bit of the budget. Like honestly, I will take 20% just for me to enjoy. So just go grab a drink, get a dinner, enjoy a little bit. But the rest, I will just reinvest on ads. And that way, I will be able to bring more traffic and more eyeballs to see my offer. And that will help me to get more sales. And then it will be, like the bean, like, and it will be faster and faster and faster. So that's what you need to do. And basically, that's what I will do. And so then, once I have that, what do? I create more content, so I get more people organically that can buy my offer for free. And then I can make money with the ads also, because the ads gonna bring traffic as well as followers. And then I can reinvest all of that. And you're gonna see you're gonna grow, 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 grow. And then maybe you will have to create a new offer. Maybe you won't, and maybe you will just have to focus on the main offer. Once again, keep asking your audience what do they want, what is their biggest struggle right now, and how you can help them. And you will see that you will make a lot of money pretty fast. As I told you, don't forget to put the order bump, don't forget to put the upsells to increase the average order value of your customer. The biggest average order value is, the better profit you're gonna make. Okay. And also, don't think that it's very hard. You need to create an offer that can be very fast to get result. And if that means that you can sell templates, for example, like, um, hey, I want you to eat very clean. So I'm gonna give you a list of groceries that you need to buy every week, and I'm going to give you like the exact brand, the exact products, and if it doesn't exist in your area, I'm going to give you substitutes that are very clean and are going to help you to do it clean. That could be a product, because people don't want to spend like hours and hours to be sure this product is good, this is not good, or whatever. Which, by the way, it's a very good idea. um, and then you can also add like a menu for 3 months. So you can sell like a 3 months plan menu, and you add with that the grocery list. So the person don't doesn't have to think. The person is like, okay, I want to cook that. I want this product. You have the grocery list. That's it. And then you can buy like you can add, sorry, in upsell, for example, batch cooking lesson to be able to batch cook a lot of product. Then you can add I don't know, for example, the best recipe to cook without any difficulty, so anyone can cook that. You can add a lot of stuff. Once again, ask your audience what do they want, and you will see. And by doing that, you're gonna have like a lot of people that want to buy from you, because it's genuine. It's very fast to get the result. For example, if I buy from you a list of the clean product to buy in grocery stores, that's it. I buy it, I have the result, I'm so happy. So I don't need like a video or whatever. You can do like, of course, videos, and you don't have to show your face. Like I can do, for example, I can do this, you see? Sorry, up. You don't see my face. It's just my computer. So you can do that if you want. You don't have to show your face, but you also don't have necessarily to do videos. That can be audios. Like I have a student. She's selling how to get your ex back, and she's just selling audio. So you don't see her face, you don't see anything, just audio, and she makes a lot of money. And as I told you, I have a lot of clients that sells template or whatever, and they make a lot of money with that. So that's what I will do. That's it. I think I talk about everything about digital products. I'm really passionate about this topic. I hope you could tell. I'm sorry for my small mistakes in English. I know I did some, but I was caught in action, and I was trying to improve, of course. Let me know if you want more videos on this specific topic, which is digital product, because I have a huge experience. I love to talk about it, and really, I genuinely feel that anyone can have a digital product. I made Neha launch her very first digital product, and now she loved it because she knows how easy it is and how fast it is and how automatically it is. We just like when we're in Europe, in Italy, she made like 3 sales when we were visiting Napoli. She was like, "Whoa, that's crazy! Like I made money while I was eating pizza and walking in the street." I'm like, "That's the beauty of it when you have a system." So if you want to do the same, like ask me and I will do like one more video about that. I really love that. And if you want to me that talking about any other topic, I will do for sure, because I love to share knowledge. I love to to give anything that I learned, because it's so cool. And if you want to connect with me, you will have all my info or all the info of Millionaires Mike on the description. Thank you so much, and see you soon.